The Sumatran rhino, now only found on the Indonesian island of Sumatra and Borneo, is a critically endangered species. Malaysia's last Sumatran rhino died back in 2019, making it officially extinct there. This means Indonesia is quite literally the Sumatran rhino's last refuge. Aside from lone Sumatran rhinos isolated in the wild, the only ones left are kept in captive breeding programs with the hope of reviving the species numbers. Further reigniting that hope is the recent birth of a Sumatran rhino calf at the Sumatran Rhino Sanctuary in Wakambas National Park, Lampung Province. It's a girl. Image. KLHK. On March 28, 2022, Indonesia's Ministry of Environment and Forestry, KLHK, announced the birth of a female Sumatran rhino calf, the third one to be born at the sanctuary, and the sixth since captive breeding efforts to increase the species numbers ramped up in the 1980s. Born on March 24, 2022 to Andatu, a male born at the sanctuary in 2012, and Rosa, a female captured in the wild back in 2005, the newborn still has no name yet. The birth of this Sumatran rhino is such exciting news amid efforts by the Indonesian government and partners to increase the population of the Sumatran rhinos, said Wiratno, the Director General of Conservation at KLHK. What a cutie. Image. KLHK. Prior to the calf's birth, Rosa had suffered from 8 miscarriages between 2017 and 2020. Adding to this issue is another factor rampant among lone female Sumatran rhinos. The species is known to have an incredibly low natural breeding rate. With the birth of Rosa's rhino calf at the Wakambas Sumatran Rhino Sanctuary, we hope this puts a new hope for us to continue hearing great news of more Sumatran rhino newborns in the future, said Wiratno. When captive breeding efforts first started in the 1980s, there was much hope for the Sumatran rhino. However, merely a decade later the initiative failed. Since more than half of the rhinos in the program died before they could produce any newborns. This relatively new program at Wakambas Sumatran Rhino Sanctuary, started in 2017, managed to find success thanks to a collaboration with conservation efforts in the U.S., raising awareness of the species' plight. Now, let's take a look at some more photos of this adorable newborn, shall we? Image. KLHK. Image. KLHK. Image. KLHK. Image. KLHK. According to the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, IUCN, there are less than 80 Sumatran rhinos left. Current conservation efforts focus on 3 key areas, which include 1. Capacity building. Establishing 2 new Sumatran rhino facilities in Indonesia, one in Sumatra and the other in Indonesian Borneo, and expanding the facilities at Wakambas National Park. 2. Search. Relocating isolated Sumatran rhinos to captive breeding facilities. 3. Care. Using state-of-the-art veterinary and husbandry care with the goal of maximizing population growth. Read more wildlife stories. Why dangling rhinos upside down is actually the safest way to transport them. Animals are growing larger ears and mouths to adapt to global warming. This is how to keep baby koalas still while being weighed. Cover image sourced from Indonesian Ministry of Environment and Forestry.